we're very protected. No fiberglass will get in our pores, but it's like so hot.
Neither will any air.
Oh, honey.
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Could be fake, just a blink of a moment, and it's gone. The smallest piece that we need when we're broken, all lost. The moments that just passed us by, when we go blinded by what makes us die. Could be fake, just a blink of.
I'm back in the race today and I am super stoked. It's not very often that I have a flare-up so bad that I can't like keep living. Most of the time I'm very good at pushing through the pain and just keep going. That's definitely my personality type. But the last week or so my tendons have been inflamed, and on those days I have learned to take it easy, because when that happens I risk tearing a tendon, which I have done before. So I've learned the hard way.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 13. I just want to take a second and give a huge shout out to all of you who have stuck with us through all of these episodes of grinding. There's been something like 10 episodes of straight grinding, which for you has been a long time, but I promise you it's been longer for us. So buckle up and hang on, because you know it can't be that simple, but this is the final video of the demolition saga. I'm feeling pretty optimistic. I made awesome progress here in the galley. It's all done, except for right there, which I can't get to until I get that seacock out. So I'll have to run to the store tomorrow and get a tool so I can get that out. And then the galley is done, except for like the very corners that we need to get on all of the corners.
We are making awesome progress. Brett said I would only get 2 pockets done while we were there, and I got no pockets done. But I got 4 pockets nearly done.
Sounds like I was right.
So I'm not sure if that's better than getting 2 pockets done or worse. I need to come in and get some of this delaminated stuff out, some bonder. Still got that going on. And then in here, it's super difficult to get to. So I think we're gonna need to tag team this one and have one of us run the grinder and one of us catch it all with the vacuum, because it just funnels into your face. Let me try one with my right hand. So when I was a kid,
What? Oh.
do you once got like really...
We need to go get some sanding discs and maybe the tool for the seacock, if they have it, I hope. Maybe a grinder, maybe some gloves, and anything else there that I like.
that you like. And then, more importantly, we're gonna go to Whole Foods and we're gonna get some of those delicious organic energy drinks, because we need some organic energy. All right, love, tell everybody your theory.
Well, so my map's orientation is based on an accelerometer of my phone, right? So if I have my phone like this and I turn really hard, is it going to turn my screen because it thinks that that way is now down? Or if I brake really hard, is it going to flip it entirely?
I mean, there's one way to find out, but let's not do it with the dogs in the car. One of our dog park friends has a lot of experience with fiberglassing, and he suggested layering on a bunch of lotion. Well, he suggested barrier coat lotion, like specifically made for this. We couldn't find any of that, but we got some lotion, and I just put it on really thick on my forearms and around my eyes, and hopefully it'll help with the fiberglass. He suggested it because I was telling him how I haven't been able to find any gear that fits me well, and so I get a lot of stuff coming in. And hopefully this helps, because today we're going to be grinding more fiberglass than previously. I took the Dremel with this handy dandy little attachment, and I made these beautiful cornered, nice beveled edges. Beautifully done. I'm very pleased with how it went.
You proud of those or nothing?
No. Totally humble. But I got all the gel coat out from the port side, starboard side. From the starboard side.
We were just talking to a guy who's been sailing for like 50 years and was saying that whenever he goes sailing, he still has to have a piece of tape down that says port and starboard because he still forgets.
And so I told him, I'm like, I have no problem with port and starboard. It's lefts and rights that I struggle with. And then right now I'm like, anyway. Okay, so on the port side, I still need to go through and do that. I think it's going to take me about an hour. And then I'll have all of the corners gel coated off. Brett.
What?
How did your hell hole go?
It was hell.
Go.
It was a whole lot of hell.
Whole lot of hell. But
I got it.
Take a peek.
Yeah,
Look how good he did.
I did dang good. It's done as much as you can do with a grinder. So the rest of it is Dremel. So I left it for you.
Thanks, babe.
But it's good to go. I'm actually pretty pleased with how that came out. Our goal today is by the end of today, we want to have all grinding, sanding done. This is when things start getting really interesting. I decided to cut the cracks out to save from making extra fiberglass dust. Obviously, I'll have to round the corners and feather out the edges for new glass. But by doing this, we also learn just how weak this fiberglass is with that crack in it. And as we find out in just a second, the grid was actually built differently than I think any of us thought. There's really two pieces to the grid. There's the structure, which is hidden, and then there's like a fascia on it that makes it look pretty. And the problem is that this is very minimally attached to the structural part.
I just cut around the edges and it went bloop.
Which is fine, usually, as long as the structural part is bonded to the hull. Ours isn't, and it was completely not. And our plan was to put new fiberglass here, fiberglass this down to the hull, and all was good to go, until we realized that these were two not very well connected pieces. I had a slow morning getting up today. Feeling a little bit discouraged after our discoveries. But she's hard working. What's the word?
Good morning. Happy sunrise.
Good morning.
The grid in the saloon is too broken for us to fix. Brett and I stayed up into the early morning hours trying to salvage our sailboat dreams, and being the visual person that I am, I woke up with the sun to compare my mental images to the reality that is our boat. I'm going to explain what's going on, but first I want to put a little disclaimer on here to say that this is all purely based on our own observations from literally, and yes, that word actually being used correctly, cutting apart our boat and investigating all the pieces. We contacted Beneteau to try and source information and documents pertaining to our vessel's construction, but they were unable to provide us more than just very basic information because this is the 21st century and legalities and liabilities reign supreme, unfortunately. I do wish they had at least told us what bonding material they used, because I had written out this awesome complex formula to solve for how fast the previous owner was sailing when he ran aground. My only missing variable was the strength of the original bonding material. Anyway, what I'm about to explain does not come from Beneteau. Just me and Brett and a handful of non-Beneteau affiliated experts that are legally allowed to answer our questions. The grid is made in a female mold. The first thing to go into this mold is the gel coat, that thick layer of white goodness we've been grinding away. You may have heard of her. Next is a layer of chopped strand, highly saturated with vinyl ester resin, and after that comes layers and layers of directional fiberglass, which is where all the strength comes from. And just like icing under the cake, the grid's tabs are then bonded to the hull with that mystery bonding material. You might not believe me based on what you've seen about our boat, but this construction method actually works great and was good enough to earn it a Class A rating. Ocean! In all caps. Designed for extended voyages where conditions may exceed wind force 8 on the Beaufort scale. According to Nat Geo, exceeding the Beaufort 8 would be 62 kilometers and up, although we'll probably try to avoid no visibility at sea and widespread destruction. And significant wave heights of 4 meters and above, which the Douglas Sea Scale classifies as very rough, although not quite phenomenal. In other words, this boat is more than capable of doing anything and everything that we want to do in our sailing dreams. Until the previous owner grounded it and broke the mystery bonder all out. Now the boat's no longer an A student. Now that we've rid ourselves of the bonder that shall not be named and of the gel coat, the next step was to retab the grid with fiberglass and epoxy. But, as you know, we ran into problems. The vertical cracking on the grid caused delamination to spread between the layer of chop strand and the directional fiberglass. Since that directional fiberglass is what provides all the structure, laminating our new fiberglass to the outer chop strand layer would be like gluing your contact lenses to the outside of your non-prescription hipster glasses. The new plan is to rip off all of that chop strand layer and most of the fiberglass matting layers because we found a lot of delamination within those as well. This will leave us with a very thin grid form that we'll use as a male mold to build an entirely new grid structure with at least a few hundred pounds of fiberglass and probably multiple barrels of epoxy. We'll be doing this in the center area of the grid from just forward of the most forward keel bolt to just aft of the most aft keel bolt. Since the other areas of the boat aren't molting layers of delaminated glass, they'll receive our original prescription of tabbing to the existing grid. One of the neatest things happened today. Remember I told you how one of our dog park friends told us to put like a heavy lotion on, it's called like a barrier cream to protect from the fiberglass. Well today, when we went this morning, he brought us some and gave it to us, and so Brett's just putting it on right now. Where's it at? Oh, right here.
Ghost glove.
Ghost glove. He went and dug it out of his garage and brought it for us.
All right, we're like mildly suited up tonight. This is the light suit. We got ghost glove, gloves, long sleeve shirts, pants, shoes. My goal, task, is to set this, and I am trying to set the depth so that if I run this, I'm only gonna take off just the outside layer. This outer pretty layer needs to come off. Not everywhere, but anywhere that we aren't confident that it's securely attached. It's entirely possible that this is an unnecessary step, but like everything else we're doing, we don't want there to be any questions when we're all said and done. You might be wondering why we don't cut out big sections of the grid and work on this outside the boat. It would be a lot easier. We could even use it as a mold. At this point, that's definitely looking like it would have been the smarter option.
We are so hot. We are burning up from the, what was it called? Liquid glove? The glove?
Ghost glove.
The ghost glove stuff. Like, we're very protected. No fiberglass will get in our pores, but it's like so hot.
Neither will any air.
Oh, honey.
I'm okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Well, stay put. Anybody want a Brett? Aww. You broke the fan! Come on!
Did I?
Yeah. Do you want a hand?
Ow.
Are you okay? Did you hit your head on the companionway steps?
No, I didn't hit. I covered my head.
Okay.
Ow. Like my hip hit a little bit, but not.
You guys, like he's like somersaulting through the boat. And it was like slow motion. I saw you step on the fan. I saw the fan like slowly cave in and slide out, and then
I stepped right where you are, but it's so dusty that my shoe just went whoosh, and so it was just there's nothing, and there's nothing to grab. So I was like, oh, here I go.
Did you do a full somersault? Well, because okay, so like he's here, and then he was in here, and then he was on the steps, and then he was in here, and then he was upside down.
Well, as I was falling, I realized there was nothing to grab, so I basically just went for whatever I could. I didn't want to hit this, so I just like went and then tucked so I wouldn't hit any of the stringers or anything.
Like a real pro athlete.
Well, I figured it was better just to fall into the hole than like get hit on something.
You've got all your appendages.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't sound like you have too much of a concussion, just your normal level of
just normal level of concussed.
Concussed. Okay, anyway.
Yeah, you can see my split mark right there.
Anyway, we're so hot from the Coast Glove that
This is dangerous.
We're losing it.
We're losing it here.
Okay, I'm gonna start chiseling. The tops are coming off. I just want to show you guys. This is beautiful to watch.
We did go to work tonight. We didn't work for a lot of hours, but we worked very efficient hours, I think. We took the top off this one at least. So we got one big chunk and then a bunch of little chunks, and then we took a bunch off the sides as well. Our current logic being that we want the tops gone. So you can see there's a gap or a level change there. And that's because we're gonna wrap fiberglass up the sides and over the top and down the other side. And we need to be able to have it be level with this when we're all said and done, so that our floors sit level. Once we lay it all down, should be awesome. It should be one huge solid boat.
Take to the boat. Hummer of boats.
Yeah, I mean, this will be connected to this, which will be connected to this, which will be connected to this, which is connected to this, which is connected to this. What?
I found ya.
Was I lost?
Oops. Yeah.
Looking to see what we're gonna have to do out here.
Oh, with all the delamination.
Yeah. Basically the same story is in there.
Mm-hmm. This is a big project.
It is.
What a morning it has been. And it has been a good morning! Tell them, Brett.
The grinding saga is over. It's completed.
Remember all those times we said we were going to finish grinding? We finally are telling the truth. We finished grinding! Unless we find something drastically new, which has happened before, we are done with the grinding.
That's it. We're done with the grinding.
The end.
The end. Finally. I don't know how many videos it's been. Maybe we've been grinding for a couple years by now. I don't know. It feels like it.
Yeah.
But make sure you subscribe, because next we're going to start cleaning and see what color our boat is, because right now it's all white.
That's going to be an adventure.
Yeah, it's going to be a while of cleaning.
Thanks for sticking it with us through all the grinding. I'm glad. Thanks for sticking with me through all the grinding.
It was close.
See you guys next time. Try it again. Is it broken?
I don't know. Ah, it lives! A little worse for the wear, but...
Good job, little fan. Good thing you got the expensive one.
Yeah, I got the metal framed one. I don't know what it's hitting on.
Your pride.
My pride is fully intact.